our first interview for today. So local municipalities from the 2023 to 2024 draft budgets are up for public comments, and the residents from 60 informal settlements in Knysna and also in 9 in Stellenbosch shared their feedback to municipalities, and they're going to be speaking to us a little bit more about the campaign called Asivikelane campaign, which is working closely with these undeserved communities, and will elaborate a little bit more about raising awareness and advocating for the issues that were raised by residents. And joining us in studio to talk to us a little bit more about that is Ludwe, the project manager for the Asivikelane Western Cape, to tell us a little bit more. So good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone listening.
So how are you doing today, firstly?
No, I'm doing great, thanks. And you, how are you doing today?
Can't complain at all. So we're going to get into things, speaking about the issues or the comments or the feedback that basically arise from this whole campaign. So if you can just give us a little bit more background about what initiated the campaign, firstly.
Okay, thanks. So my name is Ludwe Qosho. I'm a project officer at DAG, just to correct you there on the management part. There in the NGO, we work and support community development projects, and we also seek to address economic, social, and spatial imbalances. So Asivikelane is one of the projects that are there at DAG, and it started in 2019. Oh, no, sorry about that, in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. So when the project started, it was started because nationally we were expected to social distance and to sanitize, but in the informal settlements, unfortunately, that is something that is difficult given the environment that we're living in. So that's how Asivikelane was introduced. So the way in which Asivikelane was introduced, it was to improve basic service provision in the informal settlement. So our focus is water, sanitation, and solid waste.
And just by listening to what you stated, if we do look at the Constitution under the Bill of Rights, it basically states that you are entitled to basic clean water and sanitation, and that is exactly what DAG as an organization has been doing when it comes to informal settlements. They've been on the forefront speaking out about these issues that people are basically faced with on a day-to-day basis. So you said the campaign was established back in 2020, especially for this reason, to address these issues that communities are faced with. So when we do speak about these issues, if you can maybe firstly just highlight some of the service deliveries that people were complaining about that they not receiving, because after all, government is supposed to provide, because as the Constitution or the Bill of Rights also state, you are entitled to a house, to not be living on the street and so forth. So they supposed to make provision for all of these things. So what were some of the complaints that came to light from people that they are still not getting?
Okay, thank you. So there are many issues that are faced by the residents in the informal settlements, and these issues were there even before the COVID pandemic happened. So one of the issues that are happening is the toilets that are few compared to the amount of residents that are living in the informal settlements. For example, the national standards in terms of ratio of the residents to chemical toilets is one chemical toilet, and the ratio or the people that are supposed to use those chemical toilets is 5 households. But
so when you do speak about chemical toilets, are you speaking about that portable toilets that is situated, or just explain what are you referring when you do speak about chemical toilets?
Okay, the chemical toilets are usually those chemical toilets that do not have any flushing. Do not have any running water. I'm struggling to explain, but they don't have any water. in order for them to be dislodged, they need a truck or one of the workers from the contractors to come and dislodge the content from the from the toilet. So as I was saying that one of the issues that are faced by the residents is the issue of toilets that are few in relation to the households, and some of the toilets they are enough, but some of them you'll find out they are not working. The doors are open or they are blocked, and also the waste is not collected regularly. And also one of the issues that we've observed in the informal settlements is the issue of taps. Some of the taps are not enough, or some of them they have low water pressure. So what we realize is that sometimes the municipalities do provide basic services. Maybe the municipality will provide 10 chemical toilets, but you'll find that in those 10 chemical toilets, 7 of them are not maintained properly. As a result, they are not functioning at well, and now there are only few that are happening. So now we as Asivikelane, we are there trying to make the municipality to be aware of what is happening on the ground. So our role as Asivikelane is to try to bridge the gap between the municipality and the residents. So the way in which we do that is to collect data monthly. So we have community facilitators that are staying within these informal settlements who collect data and submit it to us. And then with that data, we then analyze it and produce settlement level reports, or even a WAD report that provides a broad overview of what is happening within that municipality. So what happens is that with those reports, the community facilitator that is on the ground sets up meetings with the ward councillor and also with the municipality to discuss some of the issues that were raised by the residents. And so far, since we started the campaign, we have managed to build a strong working relationship with the different stakeholders, the ward councillor, the residents, and also with the municipality.
So since the campaign was established, the campaign basically came in a rise in 2020 when COVID basically started, like you just explained. So ever since the campaign has been active, have there been any positive results coming from this? Because I hear you saying you've been working very closely with stakeholders in order to address these problems. But have there been any solutions to the problems for the residents of the informal settlements?
Yes, there has been service improvements, and sometimes we get a lot of participants participating in the campaign, and sometimes they get a participation fatigue because they see that some of the concerns or the issues that they bring forward, they take a while to be solved, and as a result they ended up losing hope to the campaign. But for those who haven't lost hope to the campaign, they see that there are many basic service improvements that has happened. Like for an example, in 2022. Since from my side, I'm working with the Stellenbosch and the Niger municipality, so I'm only going to provide stats for those. But in 2022, since we started the campaign, we first started with 3 informal settlements, and then we increased the number of informal settlements that we're working with, and we ended up having 15 informal settlements. And with those 15 informal settlements that we're working on, we had around 145 residents participating in the campaign. And 77% of those participants are women. And the reason why we are also putting an emphasis on the women part is because women are caregivers, and as a result, they are mostly impacted by some of the challenges that are happening in the informal settlements. Like for an example, in terms of going to fetch water, it's always the responsibility of the woman. If the woman is not around, maybe it's the responsibility of the child. So we would like to try by all means to get some of the views or the voices of the residents, of the women residents that are working in informal settlements. So in terms of the achievements that we got, the positives, we got 64 instances of basic service improvements, and those improvements came in the form of toilet that has been delivered, or toilet that has been fixed, or tap that has been added, or taps that have been fixed, or the municipality provided waste bins. Then in terms of the Knysna side, we first started with less than 10 informal settlements. Then we increased those numbers up until to 60. So now we have our footprint in 60 informal settlements in Knysna. And in those settlements, we managed to have at least 9 water basic service related improvements, whereby the standpipe tap was introduced or added by the municipality, or it was fixed. And also we had 38 instances of sanitation improvement. So those are the cases whereby the municipality came and installed new chemical toilets. And lastly, we also had 112 refuse removal instances of service improvements, because the municipality, some of the areas in Knysna, the municipality will provide one refuse black bag instead of providing 3. So now we managed to advocate for that, and now we increased the delivery of the black bags to the residents, and also the municipality has provided willy bins.
And like you've mentioned, you only work in Knysna and Stellenbosch, but clearly as DAG, you are all over. You basically working all over the Western Cape, correct?
Yes, correct.
So there's other project managers that runs the other sides of the Western Cape. So it's not just in these 2 areas that it is allocated.
Okay. So in terms of the Asivikelane campaign, so it is introduced in all the metros in South Africa, but except for we are not in Limpopo and in Northern Cape. Then in Cape Town we are focusing on the metropole, the Asivikelane city of Cape Town. There's a colleague of mine who's called Umamkyu. She's the one I'm leading there. Then we within the Western Cape, we realized that in order for us to try to demonstrate like a more meaningful impact of what Asivikelane is about, or what Asivikelane can do for the municipality, let us try to zoom in to at least 2 different to 2 different municipalities, whereby we can showcase that if the municipality and the residents are able to sit in one table and co-create solutions, they are able to produce better results. So that's why we decided to also introduce Asivikelane Western Cape, which we focus on Stellenbosch and Knysna, because we want to create a case study that showcase that the residents and the municipality are able to sit down in one table and co-create solutions. Because in our, like in the past, or the way things are done, from a distance, people always tend to see that the residents and the municipality cannot work hand in hand, because every time the residents have any issues, they always resort to strike. But now with the Asivikelane campaign, we are trying to showcase them. No, instead of striking, could you please consider doing this first? So in the Asivikelane campaign, we are not only focused on trying to collect data from the residents and produce a report, and then that's it. But what we also do is to provide support, whereby we capacitate them and put them in a positions whereby even if us as DAG we are not around, they are able to drive their own advocacy or their own change. Like for an example, one of the things that we realize in the Asivikelane campaign is that whenever residents have challenges, because some of the questions that we ask is, who do we report to whenever you have an issue? Most of the residents, they will say they report to our committee facilitator, or sometimes they will say they report to their ward councillor. That is good, and it works for them because their issues get to be taken forward to the municipality. But us as Asivikelane, we don't want that. We want everyone to be confident enough to go engage with the municipality, because now you need to think, well, what if the ward councillor is not there? Who are you going to go to now? So, but whereas if you have that knowledge in terms of how to take your issues or whatever concerns that you have forward, now you'll be in a better position and be able to exercise your agency.
Definitely, because a lot of people don't know who their ward councillors is after all. So you can't expect someone to go to their ward councillor when you don't even know who's in charge of that ward. So it's best to just go to the root of the cause and to be able to have a grown-up sit down instead of protesting or being violent and so forth. And like we are basically doing now, having a discussion, because how are you going to be able to solve these problems if you're not able to communicate with each other? Because after all, communication is key in any type of relationship. So it is important for you to be able to sit and have that conversation, and you to listen to me and I to listen to you, and come up with a solution at the end of the day, so that the problems don't repeat themselves after each other, and at the end of the day there is a solution put in place to create better service delivery, because we all know here in South Africa service delivery is a huge problem. And it's just when it comes to election times where things basically tend to better itself, and then after that period is gone, tips again. So that is a problem, and people are getting frustrated and fed up about that, and that is why most of people resort to anger, because things aren't getting better for them. So we don't want violence at all. So we want you to be able to sit peacefully and address these issues. So like you've mentioned, the public comments or the forum is open for people to send through their concerns and so forth. Like, how do they go about if there is any issues that they want to raise, or to know how to deal with these issues?
Okay, so the way in which the residents can be able to tackle some of the challenges that they are facing is through the community facilitators. So one of the community facilitators are employed by us. They are part of the Asivikelane team, and we purposely choose residents who are living in the informal settlement so that they can be the eyes and ears of what is happening there in the informal settlements, and also they are in a better position to verify the information that is coming through from the residents. So what the community facilitators do is that each and every month they will have these reports, and they will set up meetings with the community and also with their ward committees as well. And then it is through those meetings now the residents are able to provide to raise the issues or concerns that they may have. Then the community facilitator will take those issues or challenges and raise them to the meeting with the municipality. Then apart from that, we also encourage residents to participate in public engagements that are provided by the municipality. For an example, 2 months ago we had a budget and an IDP participation, and the residents were able to participate there and raise the issues or the challenges that they would like to bring forward.
And Ludwe, we are basically running out of time. So just lastly, if people want more information about DAG and also about the campaign, how do they make contact? Okay,
then they can go to Asivikelane Western Cape on Google. Then they will be able to find exactly the first link there is Asivikelane. They will find it, and also they can go to the Development Action Group on Google, and they'll be able to find us. And also we are also available in all the different social media accounts: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also LinkedIn.
Okay, and when we do speak about Asivikelane, is it an organization or just a campaign? Because I've noticed this morning when we were doing the research, there is an organization, Asivikelane.
No.
So is it that one you were referring to, or is it just simply a campaign?
Oh, Asivikelane is a campaign.
Okay, so it's not the organization.
No, so it's not an organization.
So it is important that people also do not land up by the wrong site. So, yeah, the best way, like you've mentioned, is to go via DAG's website, and it will take you directly to how to research a little bit more about the campaign. Are there any additional words in closing?
Nothing from my side, except for the fact that I would like to say thank you very much for the opportunity to push radio, and also thank you very much to DAG for allowing me the opportunity to be here at Bush Radio. It's my first time being on radio.
No, you did pretty well. So thank you very much for coming through and informing us and educating us a little bit more about making better life choices, and that there is solutions to certain problems. So again, thank you very much for coming through.
89.5 FM.
Everybody has the right to treat everyone equally as the same way as you treat yourself.
Bush Radio, the mother for community radio in Africa.